And here we are. This is Mrs. Robertson, and we're going to be doing lesson 2, complementary and supplementary angles. This is located on page 543, chapter 7, lesson 2, page 543. All right. Now, what types of angles make up the 2 angles marked in the drawing? Kids, these are right angles. See how they were referring to they are right angles. How many degrees are in a right angle, class? 90. Right angles, 90 degrees. What is the sum of the 2 angles marked in the drawing on the bridge? So the sum, what is 90 plus 90? 180 degrees. And kids, that's how many degrees are in a straight line. A straight line, that's a little wiggly line, but pretend it's straight. That would have 180 degrees. What else has 180 degrees? Whenever you add all the angles, in what shape do you get 180 degrees? Yes, a triangle. When you add all of the angles in a triangle, it equals 180. It says, in the space below, draw a figure that contains 2 angles that have a sum of 90 degrees. Well, I'm going to draw a right angle. Whoops. My eyes are having problems getting that arrow on there right. And then, if I put the box there that knows it's 90, I'm just going to draw another angle there. So this angle plus this angle equals 90. That's an easy way to do it. Okay. All right, let's go to the next page. So this lesson is going to be about complementary and supplementary angles. That's the name that you have for 2 angles that equal 90 degrees. It's called a complementary angle. And 2 angles that equal 180 degrees, that's called a supplementary. My way of remembering it, C comes before S. 90 is before 180. You got it? Now, I think yesterday in the lesson, in the video, it talked about the ways you communicate geometry and talking about angles. So you use M stands for the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. Do you see how that's being communicated? Here, the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 is 180. Okay, now we're going to look at some of them that are not quite as easy to see as what we had above. It says identify each pair of angles as complementary or supplementary. So, angle 1 and angle 2 form a straight angle. So the angles are supplementary. Straight angles is another name for a straight line, kids. A straight angle is a straight line. So 1 plus 2 equals the straight line. Do you see that? Now, number 2 is really easy. 60 plus 30 is 90. That's complementary. Okay, let's look at the next problem. In letter A, is that complementary, supplementary, or neither? It's neither. It is not either one because 90 plus 85 is 175. It doesn't equal either one, so neither. Oh, I want to talk to you real quick, but they are adjacent. As shown in example 2, angles do not need to be adjacent to be complementary or supplementary. Adjacent angles, kids, mean they share a ray. So in letter A, they're adjacent, but they're not complementary or supplementary. What makes them adjacent? They share this ray. Okay? It is adjacent. All right. Now let's go to the, and B we said is what? Complementary. I'm just writing the word comp. All right, let's go on to the next page. Find a missing measure. Okay, find the value of x. So here we have 28 plus 2x equals what? If we take 28 plus 2x, it equals, what does it equal? Kids, it's got the box. What does it equal? 90 degrees. And if you look down here, it shows you that it equals 90 degrees. Yes. So then, you know how to do this. Subtract 28, divide by 2, x is 31. Now that doesn't mean that this is 31. This is 2 31s, which is 62. But the value of x is 31. Do you see that? 62 plus 28 is 90, but that's 2 x's. So 1 x is 31. Any questions on that? We're going rather quickly. Number 4, the angles shown, these are supplementary. Find the value of x. Well, again, 123 plus 3x equals 180. You all know how to do this. Subtract 123, divide by 3, x is 19. But 3 times x would give you what the measure of that angle is, okay? Now, here we have, it says find the value of x. You know that this is 90 plus x equals what? 90 plus x equals what value? It makes a straight line. How many degrees are in a straight line? 180. So combine your terms. 9 plus 2x equals 180, 90. Subtract 90. 2 times x equals 90. Divide them both by 2. And the value of each x is 45. Any questions on how to do that? Okay, let's go to the next page. Here we have our 5th example. Here we have a picture to look at. The picture shows a support brace for a gate. Find the value of x. It says the angle labeled 80 degrees on the angle labeled 10x and the angle labeled 10x are supplementary. So 80 plus 10x equals 180. That's what supplementary means. Subtract 80, divide by 10, and x is 10. Or 10 times 10, that would be 100 degrees if they wanted to know that. Yes, Nathan.
So, another way you could do the other side is you could estimate it by just seeing that it's well, you could also do it more simply by knowing that the one with the x's is a right angle.
Right.
It's divided into 2,
Just
and 90 divided by 2 is
45. Yes. But if we have to write an equation, we'll have to be prepared for that.
But you gotta do the equation still.
Yeah. Okay, in D, a pair of scissors forms the angle shown. What is the value of x? Now it shows you that it makes a straight line. So our equation is going to be 116 plus 8x equals what? 180.
I didn't get that.
There's 180 degrees in a straight line. This plus this makes a straight line. So that's why it's 180. Now I subtract 116. 8 times x equals 64. Divide both sides by 8. X equals 8 degrees. So your value for x is 8. Any questions? All right, now those are our notes for lesson 2. Let's go ahead and do the guided practice, and then we're going to do our notes for lesson 3, and then we'll talk about what we need to have done for classwork today. It's Friday. I really don't like giving homework. All right, in number 1, what type of angles are those? Do you get 180 when you add them together? So what is it? Supplementary. In this one, what do you get when you add 67 plus 23? Yep. 90. It is a complementary angle. Then we have one more. Okay, in number 3, find the value of x. Now, 3x plus 45 makes a straight angle. So what will it equal? Right, so 3x plus 45 equals 180. Now it doesn't want us just to know this. We want to know the value of only x. Minus 45, 3 times x equals 135. Divide both sides by 3, and x equals 45. Now, but what if they asked you, well, what is the value of angle, or what is the measure of angle HJG? And you would say the measure of angle H. Let me rewrite it. The measure of angle H. This is your middle letter. It's the vertex point. JG would be 3 times 45, which would be 135 degrees. But they are asking for the value of x, not the measure of angle HJG. Okay, now let's go on to the next lesson I want to give you notes on. And this is lesson 3, unique triangles. So go to your math book, lesson 3, unique triangles, on page 300 or 500. Let me find it here. Creating triangles, lesson 3, 555. We're going to do 555 unique triangles, and then we might talk about, we'll do similar triangles on Monday. Okay, triangles, page 555. All right. We already, well, let's go ahead and start at the beginning and we'll make sure we know all of these words. Well, an acute triangle is a triangle that has acute angles. We're going to talk about all of these: acute, right, obtuse, scalene, isosceles, equilateral, just the plain triangle, and congruent segments. You should already know a lot of these things, but we're going to go over them quickly just to make sure everyone knows about them. And this is not page 553, page 555. All right. Draw an X through the type of angle that is not shown in this triangle. Well, is there a right angle? Yes. Is there an acute angle? There are 2 of them. Is there an obtuse angle? No. Let's put an X through obtuse. Obtuse is greater than 90. It says measure the unknown angle. Describe the relationship between the 80-degree angle and the unknown angle. Well, we know there are 180 degrees in a triangle when you add all the sides. Okay, every triangle, when you add them all together, you get 180. We know we have 90 plus 80 plus our little x is going to equal 180, right? And I know Nathan's already figured out, well, x is going to be 10 degrees, right, Nathan? Yep. Because 90 plus 90 is 180, and he knows, well, 80 plus 10 is going to give me a 90. But if we had to figure it out using our, not skipping any steps, you would have 170 plus x equals 180, subtract 170, x equals 10 degrees. Okay? Now in number 3, it says draw a triangle with one obtuse angle. Well, the easiest way to do that, kids, is draw an obtuse angle. It's one that's a big wide open angle, and then connect the other sides. There we go. There I've got an obtuse triangle. An obtuse triangle just has one obtuse angle. Is it possible to draw a triangle with 2 obtuse angles? No. it wouldn't work. It would not have straight lines. It'd have to have curvy lines in it, wouldn't it, in order for that to happen? Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the next page, 556. And that's 558. They're sticking together. And here we have examples of the different types of triangles. I think you kids have had this before. So once again, I'm going over it rather quickly. In this, it says, this is an acute triangle. All angles are less than 90 degrees. Right triangle, one right angle. Scalene, or no, obtuse, has one obtuse angle. Okay, any questions on those three? Scalene, no congruent sides. Okay, they're all different. One way of doing it, this is a 1. Each one is different. None of them match. Why don't you go ahead, these are like little tick marks. It says the tick marks on the sides of triangles indicate that those sides are congruent. Well, these are all different because none of them have the same one. Then we have at least 2 sides are congruent. That's an isosceles, I-S-O-S-C-E-L-E-S, isosceles. And these 2 are congruent. They sort of look like little eyes on the triangle. It's coming to life. And an equilateral, they are all alike. They all equal the same measure. Okay? It says a triangle is a figure that has 3 sides and 3 angles. You know that. One way you can classify a triangle is by using the third angle. Another way to classify triangles is by their sides. Sides with the same length are congruent. Same length means they are congruent. All right? Let's go on to example 1. Draw a triangle with one obtuse angle and no congruent sides. Well, first you draw an obtuse angle, make sure one side's longer than the other, and then connect the line. That's not hard to do. Let's go to letter A. A triangle with one right angle and 2 congruent sides. Well, when you make your right angle, try to make it so that the sides are the same, okay? And how am I going to know? That means they're the same. And that means it's different. You see what I did there? Everyone got that drawn? Good. Let's go on to page 557. Example 2. Classify the triangle on the house by its angles and by its sides. Okay, this is by its sides. It has 2 congruent sides. So that is isosceles. And so it is an obtuse isosceles triangle. This is greater than 90. Greater than 90 makes it obtuse. Okay? It's an obtuse isosceles triangle. This one is different. All right? Let's go to part B. Classify the triangle shown by its angles and by its sides. Well, just remember, here is our list of what we can use. Angles, is it acute, right, or obtuse? It is right because it's got this side in it right here. So it's a right. Now by sides, are any of the sides the same? No, they're all different. It is a right scalene triangle. So if you go to the page 556, angle sides, the top line ranks them by their angle, the bottom one ranks them by their sides. So that way you know what words to use if they ask you that on homework problems. Angle of a triangle, we already said it equals 180. Here they show x plus y plus z equals 180. Now in number 3, example 3, find the measure of angle z. Well, this is 43 This is 119. Add them together, you get 162. Subtract it from both sides. Z equals 18 degrees. Any questions? Let's do letter C. Angle A is 25, angle B is 108. So C plus 25 and 108 equals 180 degrees. So C plus 133 equals 180. Subtract 133 from both sides, and you're going to get your answer. C equals, what, 47? All right, any questions? All right, let's go to the next page. Example 4. The Alabama state flag is shown. What is the missing measure of the angle of the triangle? Well, 35 plus 110 plus x equals 180. That gives you 145. Subtract x equals 35 degrees. Are there any questions on that? Everyone's pretty good? Okay, so now we're going to look at the guided practice. And then I'll talk to you about what your classwork homework is going to be. It says for the first question, draw a triangle with 3 acute angles and 2 congruent sides. Okay. Mine's looking a little bit more like an equilateral one. But I'm going to say that one's just a little bit longer. They're all acute angle. All of these are acute. So that's what an example of what that might look like, okay? In question number 2, I guess I could have just made it a little bit taller. Then maybe it doesn't look quite as much. You can tell that these are the same and those are different. Okay. Now in number 2, find the measure of angle T. All right. So you take 37 plus 55 plus T equals 180. Combine your like terms. You get what, 112? 5 plus 7 is 12. Put down a 2, carry a 1. Oh, it's 92, isn't it? 92 plus T equals 180. Subtract 92. T equals, did you get 88 degrees? Okay, good. Now for the third one, a triangle is used in the game of pool to rack the pool balls. Find the missing measure of the triangle. Well, you have 120 plus x equals 180, and I believe you're right. This is an equilateral triangle, isn't it? Otherwise, they would not fit in there correctly. The answer is 60 degrees. All right, what do I want you to try to get accomplished today? We have about 30, a little more, oh, we have more than 30 minutes, so this should not be hard for you to do. So, on page 3, I can't see that number, page 559, I want you to do all on this page, page 559, all. Let's look at what's on page 560. I want you to do number 10 on page 560. I'm not done yet. Then I would, if you have time, it doesn't take long to do page 561. Try to do all on this page. Okay, now let's go back to our earlier lesson. And in the earlier lesson, Now, if you can handle this, you might get to work in groups, but if you're going to complain, I'm not going to let you work in groups. It does not take long to do these problems. All right, now, for lesson 2, located on 547, I would like for you to do all 10. Kids, and all you do is write supplementary or complementary for a lot of these. And then on page 548, do number 11. And once again, it's really easy. I want you to do number 11, page 548, number 11. We're going to talk about the hot problems. This one is really good. I really like these. These are really good hot problems. If we have time, we'll talk about those. But then on the back, page 549, if you have, we'll just skip page 549. I'd rather do 548 than 549. So, what are you going to do in the next 35 minutes? Page 547, all. Number 11 on 548. If you get time at the end, I would like for you to do 13, maybe even 12. All of these they're very good hot problems to do. Then when we go to lesson 3, you're going to do page 559, all. On page 560, number 10, 561, all. And it doesn't take long to do these. You can just write the answers down on the problems. They're that easy. I mean, look at number 20 to 26. Those are so easy, they won't take long to do. All right. In 5 minutes, if you're all working, I will let you work with groups.